Today we have a great show for you with our good friend and Zambia ambassador, Caralee Pridemore. Caralee has been doing hair professionally for over a decade. She's a Zambia ambassador, of course, like I said, and a part of Modern Salon's Artist Connective. She specializes in styling bridal hair for the past decade. She's a bridal hair specialist and owns her own business in Ohio called Sweetly Pinned. She's been published in Modern Salon, Aesthetica, Beauty Launchpad, and more. So we're really excited to have her. Please, let's give her a warm welcome in the chats. Welcome, Caralee Pridemore.
Hello, what an introduction every time. You guys are just so kind to me. Hello. Spring has sprung here to answer your question, Andrew. And I saw some people were watching in the comments from Maryland and Phoenix, and somebody was excited that it's ponytail time. So I am excited to be here with you. I am going to show you how to do a voluminous ponytail. So what does every great house need? And why am I talking about a house and not hair? A house needs a great foundation, right, to stand on. So that's what I like to think of when I am prepping my hair. My hairstyle needs a great foundation to stand on so that it can go through a drunken reception. It can hang out with the girls all day. And it can just have all kinds of fun and last all night long. So as you know, since we're doing a ponytail, which is highly requested right now in the wedding world, even with bridesmaids, and everyone is like requesting a really full, pretty ponytail. So I am going in here and I'm just kind of taking, the sections don't have to be super clean, but you can change the sectioning around as well. You can do vertical or horizontal. I couldn't say that word apparently. You can take horizontal or vertical sectioning. It just kind of depends on what your preference is. I like to use both. I like to use vertical sectioning in the front, and I like to use horizontal in the back. But again, it's preference. So I'm taking about 1-inch sections here. And then I'm just taking my Zambia texture iron and just stamp. Taking that about 4 fingers down. Now I cheated a little bit. This mannequin is pre-prepped, but I want to show you how I prep so you know. But this is more about the ponytail today than prepping. So I'm just running through that quickly to show you. So anyway, you're going to prep the whole head. I like to use, you can just kind of base it on how full the texture is. Do you have somebody that has really thick hair or finer hair? If you have someone with really fine hair, you can just do this all over. If you have someone with really thick hair, you can take sections starting in the mid-occipital area, and then you can work your way up. So again, I'm just taking this about 4 fingers down. We're going to stamp. I'm going to show you this, and then we're going to move on to curling. This is my texture iron, so you can see how awesome that is. It's a micro crimp, and we're just kind of stamp, and that's going to leave that little micro stamp in here. You can see just like little divot marks. Not very much, because obviously you don't want your bride to feel like they're Madonna or Britney Spears, unless, we are kind of like, not Madonna, I guess she's like 80s, but back to the 90s right now, where everybody's doing really small, tiny curls. I think that's 90s, right? Or is it 2000s? Oh, I'm not sure. Where is the beauty show? I think the beauty show is in Illinois. Is anyone going to the beauty show this weekend? It's going to be so much fun. I'm so sad I have to miss it, but it's going to be a great lineup. So again, just kind of running in here, I just wanted to show you. If you're just tuning in, we're going to do a voluminous ponytail, and I'm just kind of prepping the hair because an important style requires important prepping. So we're just going to run that prep all the way through. If you are just tuning in, I already told everyone that I already pre-prepped her. So now we're going to go in and just curl But yes, make sure you watch. We have a bunch of other videos too over at Samvia, I believe on YouTube and even on Instagram that showcase a lot of the previous styles that I've prepped in case you want to check those out. And then you can see how I do that a little bit more thorough. So we're going to come in here and just again section her off. So she's already been pre-prepped with the texture iron. And then I'm going to come in with my artist series curling wand here. This is 1 inch. So I'm going to just lightly curl her all over. It doesn't have to be super nice and neat. The picture that's actually shown for the demonstration, that bridesmaid had extremely curly hair and really thick. Yes, Andrew.
And what temperature are you using on the iron?
I have it on a low setting. So there's actually 3 settings on this curling wand. And then I have it on low, and there's a colored temperature, and then there's high. So I think it's really great that there's a colored option. When I say colored, I mean like if your hair is colored, it's a heat that is good for your hair. If it's been colored, it's a little bit better, I would say, for your hair. Now, always be using your heat protectant. I use my Redken. This is number 11 iron shape. So I spray this all over, just even when I'm already like using my texture iron. So it already has that layer of protection. And then I can add to it as well if I want to throughout the style, but it's not necessary. You can just spray it once if you're just using the texture iron. Just make sure that it's evenly distributed through the hair, and that way it's like fully saturated, so that's getting protected all the way through. 375, yeah, 375 degrees, I believe is it. I should know that. I'm sorry, you guys. I'm like just in the process here, doing what I love. I'm not good with degrees. So I just know that it is awesome because every time that I curl the hair, you can see, as I just did, like it's just amazing because it heats all the way through. You don't have to wait a super long time. And then it's all like evenly distributed through the hair. So that's a pretty big deal. When you're trying to work really quickly, you want your irons to work just as fast as you do. So has anyone out there tried this curling wand? It's a Marcel as well. I just don't have my other piece on. The clamp part. So
Are you curling all in one direction, or are you alternating different directions?
yeah, so that's a great question. So I am actually curling away from the face. I'm on my right side here. I'm curling away from the face towards the middle. And now I'm coming over here to the left, and we're alternating these curls. I just like to have that little bit of dimension in the style. And again, the curls don't have to be super perfect. It kind of depends on what the picture is, the inspirational picture is that they show you. Some even have the curls completely brushed through, which, I really love, like a very soft curl pattern as well. We've seen that that's very trendy right now, especially with glam waves and all of that. So I'm just going to take a second to pause here, and we're just going to use a hairspray. This is a flexible hold, and this is still warm. So I'm obviously not going to brush through that. We want it to cool all the way through. And then I'm using my Samvia sectioning clips here. These are really great clips. I mean, as you can see, this is a lot of hair that this mannequin has. And then this clip, I'm just using one. And that's kind of a big deal when you're in wedding hair, because you have people show up and they could have like a ton of hair. I mean, some people just, God has really blessed them. Like, I don't understand it. I can't seem to have that much hair. But that's okay. I guess you could just get extensions too. So anyway, I like to just kind of take all this hair and then just curl it in these alternating patterns. And then if somebody has a lot of hair, like I was saying, you can just clip it up with the sectioning clip and it holds everything right up. It's phenomenal how it does that. And then you don't have to worry about it falling. Oh, have you ever used a bad clip and the hair just continues to fall out of it? And it's like the most frustrating situation. I mean, I don't know if that's just me that's happened to, but it is so frustrating because I'll continue to just clip up, clip up, clip up. If you're just tuning in, I'm prepping hair. We're going to do a voluminous ponytail. I just kind of want to show you my prep process here. And then the mannequin behind me over here on the top, the blonde, she's actually I'm going to show you a version with her as well. She has finer hair. So I thought it would be good. And she has layers. So I thought it would be kind of good to show you both. So this one has thicker hair and it's more one length. And then she has thinner hair and then it's just a little bit more layered, which if you're asking me, I love like the layered look and all that. But I do think it's good to show versatile styling, especially because you never know what client you're going to have sit down in your seat. So anyway, I'm taking the curls. We're just alternating curl patterns. I'm sorry if I get repetitive. This is a lot of the same technique right here. And it's just really good to know because you need it when you are trying to work efficiently and quickly on a wedding day. So again, I'm taking, this is my 1-inch wand, and then it's my Artist Series. It's 2-in-1. And so it has a Marcel part as well. And I don't have that on here, but I'm just using it as one. And we're just taking all that hair back away from the face to create a really nice curl. And if you are just tuning in, the demo picture that we used, the bridesmaid had extremely thick curly hair. So the technique I'm about to show you is extremely great for that situation. If you have even someone with really fine hair, and I'm going to show you with that mannequin as well, that you need to be able to utilize this technique because it's going to help the hair hold all day long. And then it can also create more layers in the hair if the bride or the bridesmaid doesn't have any dimension in her hair or layers in her hair. It's kind of nice to use this technique to see how to do that. So does anyone have questions for me? This is a great time to ask questions if you haven't. I know I haven't shown much, but we are getting there, and then I'll be able to show you how to do a voluminous ponytail. If not, and you guys haven't said where you're tuning in from, I would love to know where you're watching from. I always go back in the comments after the show and I always read everything. So it's really sweet when I can read that people like have a light bulb go off. It's like a light bulb moment and they're like, oh my gosh, I haven't used that before. I'm going to do that. So I love reading that.
Caralee, where do you stand on the whole, like, should they come in with freshly washed hair or next day hair? I know that there's a lot of talk about that.
Yeah, that's a great question. So yeah, just as long, like how we were talking at the beginning about a strong foundation and how a house needs a strong foundation, I believe the same for hair. And so, yes, you definitely need to be encouraging your brides to either see you the day before for a blowout if they can, or if you don't offer that as a service, to provide them even with maybe the right area to shop to get like a voluminous, a volume shampoo or conditioner. I have several favorites that I post on my Instagram page as well. And then I also share that information with my brides just so that they can be aware of like how I need them to shampoo. I like them to shampoo and condition and blow dry on the day of. I like them to use a little bit of conditioner. I don't want a lot of conditioner in the hair. As you know, it makes the hair very soft and it's a little harder to get that, grip on the hair with my products. Now, that being said, I can do it, but I think it's really important to be educating your brides and your clients to know how to wash their hair and be able to even style their hair at their house with a better hold. Everything starts from that point, though, when they're washing their hair in the shower. So, and then when they get out, you know, using a volume mousse or anything like that in the crown area, especially, and if they can drag it out through the ends, that's doing what our heat protection is doing as well. It's creating that barrier, that layer through the hair where, you know, it's just giving us extra protection and extra styling advantage when we are curling and everything, because it has something to hold. There's a little bit of hold on that hair. And you know, you can read the bottles for different things too. There's medium hold, strong hold, light hold. So it's always what you're kind of going for. And if your client has extremely fine hair, you might need a better, like a stronger hold in a product. And so, yeah, that's a great question, Andrew. Thank you for asking me it, because that is so important. And then I also like to tell my brides and bridesmaids to, if the bridesmaids ask, to blow dry their hair upside down, because, you know, I just think that that helps so much. It creates a ton of volume up here at the crown area, and that's what we're going for. Usually, because when I go in and back home, that's very important. So right now I'm getting on my right side. I'm working on my right side here, and I'm just kind of taking section by section. We are curling the hair with our 1-inch wand, and then we're just taking that hair away from the face, going back towards the middle. And does anyone else, like, out there watching, do you section the hair differently when you are curling? I always love to know how people do things too. You know, it's so fun as hairstylists. We're always learning. We are learning from each other. And I think it's awesome. I think it's a great community to be a part of. I think hairstylists are a very encouraging group of girls, especially all the bridal stylists that I've met. We're always willing to talk to each other about things that we do and experience. So if you aren't in this industry and you're thinking about getting into it, you should. It's really rewarding. You know, you get to help people just feel beautiful, and like on their wedding day, especially, that's so, so nice to be able to be a part of that big day in their life. And
Caralee, any tips for hair that has a lot of strays and frizziness to it when you're prepping?
yeah, so I'm gonna kind of show you here in a second. I have a frizz taming smoothing cream that I like to use, and I always curl the hair before I do that. So that way, even if I use that texture iron that has that little micro crimp, it's nice to kind of go back in and add a little bit of shine with the smoothing cream, and then that will take away, that's going to take away any kind of frizz, leave the style frizz free. That's especially important after we do the back combing in the crown section. And I think I'm actually just going to stop here. I know this looks crazy because this is like halfway done, but I'll show you in a second why. So yeah, we're going to go ahead and I'm going to just back comb her a little bit. And then we're going to go in and use just a little bit of this volume powder. As you can see, she has a ton of volume. Now you can do this either way. You can finish curling all the way to the top. Just for time's sake today, I'm just going to go ahead and show you what it's like when I put it up in a ponytail. So just create a big section here at the top. And you've already added that micro crimp. So you'll see once you start using a micro crimper and the texture iron, you can just go back in, kind of lightly back comb here. And then that hair is gonna, I mean, look at that. Is that not the best thing you've ever seen? Like, come on, this is too good. The texture iron, yeah.
Sorry to interrupt. Just because we got quite a few questions about product just all at once. Can you just real quickly remind us what products you prepped with and what aerosol, like what you'd suggest for as they're cooling?
Yes, yeah. Okay, so for prepping, right when I did my texture iron all over, I used my heat protectant. We want to get that barrier on the hair. We want it to be layered and saturated with this. So this is just iron shape 11, Redken. I love it. It's I guess it's medium control. Yeah, that makes sense. I've never looked at it. I just know that I love it. So honest moment from me. But yes, it is a medium hold. That makes sense. And then it does kind of control that hair as I go in and use that texture iron on it. So then I went in when I was letting them all cool, and I used my Osis. This is Schwarzkopf, and this is level 2, and this is Freeze. I think it's supposed to be used as a firm hold hairspray, but you know, I like it as a medium hold. I don't really layer it on there too much. And then I'm just kind of going in. You can see I'm just kind of backcombing everywhere, picking this up, backcombing. And then I usually use a volume powder. So Kenra, this is 14. And then you can just spray this in either before or after. I typically on a wedding day will do it before I start backcombing, but this kind of just goes into that padding here that I've created, and that's just going to add extra lift. So, and then we're going to go around front, and then I also do the same thing up here at the crown. I just really want to make sure when I lift her hair into the hair bungee that it's all lifted at the root as well with my backcombing. And here we go. And this is the Signature Series Tail Comb from Zambia, and I like to use it because it's just such a, it's just amazing. It's really good. It gets in there and just does exactly what I need it to do for backcombing. Because you know, sometimes you can just get too much when you go in a backcomb with, like, let's say something that has a comb that has just a lot of, oh, I'm trying to think of the word. Hold on, I lost it. We'll come back to that. But as I'm going through here and I'm kind of just lightly curving my tail comb on top here, I want to just smooth down all of that hair that I just created, all that backcombing in. And that's because we don't want it to look, you know, we don't want it to look bad up here. We want it to look smooth and put together. So I'm going to use my Osis. This is Tame Wild. It's a number 3. It's Strong Control. So what this is going to do, I'm just going to kind of emulsify that into my hands. We're going to run it through the curls, and that's going to break up the curls too. So I like to just kind of run through, break up everything that I just did. We don't need this to be like if you went to hair school. You know, I went to hair school, graduated 09, and we were doing those spiral curls all over our head. We wouldn't brush them out. Oh my gosh, do you know what I'm talking about? It's the worst. And I would ride the bus so proud. I'd ride the bus home with these spiral curls looking like Little House on the Prairie, and I was just like, okay, I'm cool. So anyway, okay, so we're getting to the volume ponytail part here. Depending on how high they want it, I like to leave a few pieces around her face. So we're just going to kind of leave, zigzag this part right here. Again, mannequins, hairlines are just a little bit different than humans. So we have to take that into consideration. But I want to just leave this hair softly out, and we will come back and mess with some of this. So you might feel like, whew, that's a lot of hair we're leaving down, but there is a reason why. So we're coming in here. I'm taking my tail comb to the top of the ear. Okay. You can see how that is going to line up. So I'm just like going to lift all this hair up. We're going to cut this in the middle here. Again, if you have questions as I go, that product I just used was the Tame Wild Osis. That's for helping smooth and kind of get rid of all that backcombing messiness that I put in here. But we don't want to brush it all the way out, so it's still, that padding is still in here. I'm just kind of running through the top layer of that hair to smooth it out. So we're doing the same thing on the opposite side as well. And you can use a couple different techniques here. I like to use my hair bungee. So we want to just really focus on getting this ponytail where we want it right here. So I'm just going to kind of smooth that down. If you guys are just joining, we're doing a voluminous ponytail, and I'm going to show you two different techniques. Right now I'm getting my first one created, and then we will go from there. So as you can see, I've created that ponytail, and I'm focusing on the top of the ear here. I really want that to line up, okay? Because that's just that's going to look really beautiful in photos once I come up here and kind of pull that up. And then I'm going to take my hair bungee. So tell me if you're not able to see this really well, but this is a hair bungee. If you've used a hair bungee, in the comments, can you put hair bungee is my favorite? Or I don't know, something about hair bungees. Tell me a good joke about hair bungees. So we're going to go in here and just take this hook. All right, we're going to stick it down in the center of this ponytail I've created. I'm still holding on to the ponytail, and then here's my other hook. There are two hooks on the hair bungee. I'm placing pressure. Let's show you a little bit better. I'm placing pressure right here onto the first hook that I've taken into the center of the ponytail. I'm going to pull, so I'm putting tension on this, just like a bungee that you would need to use if you were like trying to put something in your trunk of your car and it wasn't shutting. Which, by the way, I do have a great story about this. My trunk, well, I'll tell you in just a second. So we're going to take this underneath the ponytail, all right? And then we're going to wrap it again. Wrap it as much as you can, and it's going to feel really tight. And just for the sake of me not losing this, I'm going to pull this more my way for just a second. And then we're going to get in here. We're going to connect the hooks at the center, okay? So that's going to create ponytail. Has anyone done this? I love using a hair bungee. It's just such a great way to secure the ponytail. My story was that my trunk would not shut one day, and I was at a wedding and I was freaking out that I wasn't going to be able to drive home because my trunk kept coming up. So I tried to take a hair bungee and attach it to the hook of my trunk and tried to attach it to somewhere else in my trunk so that it would hold my trunk down. And it does not work, so I would not advise that. And where do you order your hair bungees? You can get them from Amazon. They come in a big pack. You can get multicolor, I believe, like brown, dark brown, and then black and blonde. So I have her as a blonde. And then there is our first ponytail. Okay. What are we thinking? Do we love it? Let's clip this out of the way. We're going to work on our second ponytail. You're like, what? Why are you doing two ponytails? This is going to be ridiculous. And it's not. Let me tell you, it is so great to use this hack, because if your client has extremely thick hair, you have to focus on how is this hair going to hold all night long. Like, well, this is how I'm going to show you. So we're going to use our hair bungee again. So you're just going to come in here, and I'm going to hold this tight. So you get to watch again. So if you missed it the first time, so we're going to take it into the center of the ponytail. The first hook is going into the center. I'm placing tension on that as I wrap it. So right now there's a bunch of tension on it, and it's getting tighter, just like you would if it was a regular elastic, but you feel like how much different this feels. So we're going to tighten that up. Okay, so we've created two ponytails here. I'm going to show you just a couple different ways how to do this. So you can come in here. Let's say your client's like, I want some more hair. Then you can add hair here, some extensions. If you wanted to add some extensions, you could add them. They have all kinds of different kinds of ponytail extensions as well. You could even add this like in the second ponytail and just wrap it around. And then you could take this hair and split it. I'm going to show you the technique without the extension, but you can take this hair and you can split it and then come up and above this top ponytail. Okay. So that's going to create it almost looks like you've taken the hair from this ponytail and wrapped it around, but you didn't. So we want to take this top part here, and then we're just going to use a clear elastic. If I've lost anyone, if anyone's like catching up, please let me know, because then I can kind of show you again. I know it's a lot to take in. So I'm using a clear elastic at the top here. So we have like we have 2 hair bungees in here. We've got 2 hair bungees, and then we've got an elastic at the top, and then that's all coming together, right? So we've got, this is already looking so full and big, and it almost looks layered, right? That's what I was saying earlier. That's so important, is because it can just like look layered. And if you don't have that dimension, that's something you can do. So you can come back in here and you can back comb this hair. And then you can also just kind of come in here, split this ponytail in half, and then just back comb underneath there. Again, I'm using my Signature Series comb. This is a tail comb from Zambia, and it's the bomb when you need to section. You can use it. I don't color hair or highlight hair, but you can also use it for that. It's really great for that. So again, are we like, what do we think? Show some heart emojis if you're loving this. I'd love to know if you have any questions. I would just love to be able to answer them. So we are just kind of taking all that. So now, if you remember, I stopped curling up here at this top part. Oh, that's a lot of hearts. Well, thank you. I love those hearts. And we're just going to kind of clean this up a little bit too. And you're probably thinking like, what's this front part out for? And I'll show you. So now I'm just kind of coming in here with my Zambia Sleeker. This is such an amazing tool to have on hand because, again, it just creates that heat really evenly through the hair. So I'm able to get a very nice curl with the hair. And I just kind of want to take any curls that look like they're sticking out funny, and I'm going to just clean those up. So we're just cleaning up the curls. What does anyone use their sleeker to create nice waves in the hair? Because I do that as well all the time. I love to use it, especially on front pieces when the curls just really need to last all day long. It's such a good temperature and heat to be able to use on those front pieces. I'll show you how I do that as well. So we're just kind of curling these ends under. I want them to just kind of be a little bit cleaner here. And you can even brush, like you can even take that, your sleeker and just kind of run through the ends and just kind of make them a little bit more beachier if you want the wave pattern to be a little beachier. So if anyone is just tuning in, we're doing a voluminous ponytail. I have 2 hair bungees in here. If you're not sure what a hair bungee is, it is an elastic with 2 hooks on it. And then this is really in here. Like she can go party hard. So, okay, so we still have this elastic showing just a little bit up here. And if you're like me and you hate having any kind of elastics or bobby pins showing, then you can kind of figure out what pieces you want to be framing the face here. And then you can just take this other hair back. And I like this too, because if you curl the front, it creates almost like this beautiful wave too, right? And so you can just even kind of pinch and pull. So I have her over here and I'm getting ready to like cross it underneath the ponytail. And then I'm just kind of pinching and pulling here to create a really beautiful dimensional ponytail. And then I'm going to wrap that hair underneath or over wherever it ends up. I'm going to wrap that hair either underneath or over top, and then I'm just going to place a pin right in the top of that. Okay. And then I'm going to do the same thing on the opposite side. So I really like to make sure that these front pieces are going to lay beautifully. If you have a client that has extremely, let's say like really long hair like hers, you're going to want to advise them to get their hair cut prior to the service. So have them get those face framing pieces. The same thing with like a big voluminous blowout. You know, everybody wants this big hair and it is beautiful, but you have to have the correct layers and haircut to achieve that. So again, we're just going to kind of take this other piece, we're going to connect it over top, and we're just going to go the opposite way here, and then just kind of pull that through. And another trick I like to use is you can take your little topsy-turvy, this is a little metal one. I like this one a lot. I think it's out of stock though, so I think you can find them on Amazon. But you can just pull that hair through, and then you can also like pin it if you want it to have extra security. But yeah, obviously if this was like a real wedding day, I would advise like that she gets extensions, because there's still just like not really enough hair like down here to like you can even push that hair bungee up and kind of hide it. It's up to you as a professional to kind of figure out what works for you. And if you're not feeling it down there and you want to push it up more, I would advise that, especially before you wrap the hair around it. That way it's just hidden a little bit better. But the advantage of using a hair bungee is that you can kind of come in here, and you can't do this with an elastic because the hair could get messed up. But you can come in here and you can just kind of pull up on this hair and add way more volume. And I love that about those hair bungees. So anyway, let's see. And then you can also take your sleeker, and you can even just, the hairs that I pulled up, if you want like a little bit more dimension, say like 3D dimension, you can just kind of tap, 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 and that's going to really create those fine ridges. If your client is desiring like a more clean ridge look. So I think that's always a nice little touch. You can kind of see this side versus this side that I did not do, and see how much like dimension that adds. So, and also if they have like a lot of color in their hair too, let's say they're brunettes, that's also a way to do it too. So we're just gonna leave her up there. And then I made a really nice, I just posted a really nice tutorial on my Instagram page where you can actually take that, split it into two. Maybe do you guys want me to show you? You want me to show you what I did on Instagram? I'll show you with this one. So I split it into two, which I'll do. And then I made a really nice bun. Like, it was just so surprising when I was doing it, because I'm like, wait a minute, this is a very cool technique. I wasn't really trying to do it. And I love, like, what is that? Happy surprises. Like, I just love little happy surprises. So she's already curled all over, and then I'm going to take her hair up. Do you guys want this to be like a little bit lower? Do you want me to show you a lower ponytail? That one was a little bit higher. Let me know. Say lower in the comments if you'd like me to do it lower. And Andrew, if you are able to like tell me what everyone's saying, if they want it lower or higher, I can do either one.
You're doing great.
Okay. Are you learning anything new, Andrew? Am I teaching you anything new?
I'm totally getting into the bridal game after this class.
Okay, so I'm going to use, this is just a different way to tame your frizz and add more texture. So I'm going to add, this is my Kenra Platinum texturizing taffy. Oh my gosh, it's so good. It's like very like, ooh, stringy. It's almost like glue. I don't know if you can see it. And you can kind of you can rub this in your hands, or emulsify it in your hands, or you can just rub it into the hair straight. This is adding texture while maintaining a beautiful shine, and I just love good products, you guys. So these are my go-tos. I also use a ton of air products, and Aquash has a new spray wax that's really great. I kind of use it all. You know, if you're in this industry, you gotta play around with everything, find what you like. And then I have like a texture spray and a flexible hold hairspray from Air that's just really wonderful too. Okay, is anyone saying lower? Lower. Okay. All right. So we're going to go lower with it. So you can leave out a little bit more here, and then you can, if we have time, I'm like rushing here, but I can show you how to do the bun if you're interested in the bun as well. Just say lower and then say bun if you want to see a bun. So we'll do this quickly. This is a lower ponytail. So I'm not going to back comb the way that I would in the other one. This is just a different option if someone doesn't really want all that volume and they want just a little bit more texture here. So you can see I'm just kind of, this is already curled. We're going to just kind of pinch and pull up on this. And we were talking earlier about a good foundation, right? And like if you need to have your bride prep the hair in a specific way, when she's actually blow drying her hair, if she was to have like really curly hair or coarse hair, Sambia has like a 3-in-1 thermal brush. And so it gets hot. I'm going to pause here for a second. It gets really hot and it's really nice. And it like you can use it almost as a blow dryer because it gets, I love it, right? Because I can bring that if a bridesmaid shows up with wet hair, I can run through it and it's going to get rid of like a lot of frizz. It's going to maintain the wave, but it's also straightening it out for me. So I'm not going to have a lot of frizz. So anyway, I am just using my hair bungee again. So we're doing a lower ponytail here. And I do buns so much. I always think of a bun, but I'm just going to place pressure here on that middle hook that I've already taken down and under. And then I'm going to take it. We're pulling it, adding that tension. And then we're going to go over until we run out of that hair bungee. And then we're going to cross it and just tuck it in. Okay. Do we think like, what do we think here? Like she can just, like, it's just so... It's in there, okay? You don't believe me there? I showed you. So do you have a bride or anyone in your lineup this year for wedding hair that is wanting a ponytail? Let me know in the comments. Say yes. And then also we're getting ready. Like I'm getting to the final stages here. I would love it if you guys found Sambia on Instagram, found Caralee Styles on Instagram, follow us, tag us. And if you can, take a screenshot right now and post that on Instagram and tag Sambia, tag me. I'm going to repost you in my story. And thank you so much for watching. So I'm going to take this section right here. This is my right side. And we're just going to kind of twist this hair. We're going to pull it over that hair bungee. And we're going to just wrap it. Okay, isn't that pretty already? Should we just leave the other side out? Just leave it, right? We're going to just pull this through, and then I'm going to just kind of pin it right in here. The pin I'm using is an open pin, but I'm going to go back in later where I pinned it openly. The open pin gives me a little bit more, I can get in here and just kind of pull it apart a little bit more because that open pin isn't closed, so it's not holding it tight. Okay, and then I'm going to go and do the same thing here. And then I'm just going to take that and do the opposite. So we're crossing over the right, and then we're going to go up and above and underneath until we run out of hair. And you can hairspray that down, use a closed pen, and just kind of tuck that pen into up and into the occipital bone here. So, okay. So what do we think? That was quick, right? Once you get that hair bungee down and you're like, okay, I know what I'm doing. Like this is foolproof. Do we love it? Say love it. Say love it in the comments. And oh, here's a great time. Take a screenshot and tag Sambia online. I'm going to show you how to do the bun since you've stayed with me this long. Do we have time for the bun, Andrew?
Bun it up.
All right. So we have this here. We're just going to split this into two. No, that's not how I did it. I have to remember because I did it so spontaneously. You know, it was a happy surprise that I have to remember how to do it again. That's the part of being an artist, right? Like you get to have fun just creating different things. This bottom part fell out. So we're just going to go in here with an elastic. I just need it to be a little bit tighter than what the hair bungee can do because this is just it is kind of a weird section right here that I have. So, and that's mostly because I'm teaching and I'm working quickly and I want to show you guys all the things. So, okay. So you can take an elastic, that's just a regular elastic. We just put that in there. And then you can take this, and I was just playing around with it, right? So I just kind of brought this up, and then it just created like this beautiful C shape almost. And I just kind of held this up here, right? So just create a little bun, form the little bun here. And it almost created like a French, like a real modern French twist type of situation, which we're kind of seeing like that bigger hair, just like different dimension and all that. So I'm going to take, the hair is going kind of flowing here to the right. And then this bottom one, I'm going to take to the left. So we're just doing an opposite direction, and then just kind of pin it. And guys, this again is just like a really fun way of just making happy surprises. It doesn't have to be perfect the first time you do it. Don't be so hard on yourselves. Just kind of get in here and play around with shapes of hair. This could be very editorial, right? Like, I mean, I don't know. I haven't seen anyone walking down the street with anything like this, but it definitely could come in just because bigger hair is on its way in. So we're just going to kind of pinch and pull, and it's kind of messy. It's like a French twist. And then you can even take these pieces and incorporate them in, or when I was doing my happy surprise, I didn't actually have any of this out, so it all kind of flowed really well. So if you are tuned in and you watched how to do a voluminous ponytail, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Again, tag us on Instagram. Let us know you watched the show and you loved it. Oh, yes. Oh, yeah. Did you guys watch the Oscars? We should have talked about that. Anyway.
Great job, as always, Caralee. And all just simple enough that even someone like me that doesn't specialize in this style of hair, I feel like I could go do a lot of this. So watch out, world. I'm coming for you in the bridal industry. Just kidding. I'm really not. But thank you, Caralee. That was awesome.
Yeah, thank you for having me. And everybody enjoy the American Beauty Show. I'm so jealous that everybody gets to go.
All right. Thank you.
Bye.